Welcome to the St. Tammany Parish Planning Commission meeting of December the 10th. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Seeger?
Here.
Ms. Parker?
Here.
Mr. Willie?
Here.
Mr. Richard?
Here.
Mr. Doherty?
Here.
Mr. Baggert?
Here.
Mr. Fitzmaurice?
Here.
Mr. Crawford?
Here.
Mr. Drum?
Here.
Mr. Randolph? Chairman, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Please silence all phones and electronic devices. Appeals, if you wish to appeal a case where you disagree with what the commission does, there are appeal cards over on the railing to my right. Speaker cards, there's some on the right and there's some there for staff to hand you if you don't see where they are. Public speaking, 10 minutes each side and 5 minutes for rebuttal. After your case is heard, you're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting if you wish, or you're welcome to exit. But please don't go out in the lobby and discuss, because the sound comes back in to the chambers. Please rise for the invocation by Commissioner Randolph and the pledge by Commissioner Willie.
Gracious Father, once again we come to you with bowed down heads and lifted heart to say thank you for all the blessings you bestowed in our lives. We thank you, Heavenly Father, in your Son Jesus' name, for your grace and mercy and favor to take us through this day. We thank you for this meeting. We thank you for this commission. Lord, we ask that you continue to bless us. We ask that you also bless those that's in the audience, and Lord, all of our employees that's given their due diligence for this parish. And gracious Father, bless our families in a mighty way, and a special blessing upon all of our military personnel, veterans, law enforcement officers, firefighters, and medical personnel. Lord, take care of all of them and their families. It's in your Son and your holy name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In your packets, there was 2 sets of minutes, and we need to vote on these separately. The first one is the special reschedule October the 8th minutes. Do I have a motion to approve, or any corrections? Commissioner Fitzmaurice.
I move to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Fitzmaurice to approve. Commissioner Baggert.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Baggert. Please vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you. The other set is for the November 12th minutes. Commissioner Fitzmaurice.
Move for approval.
Second, motion to approve by Commissioner Fitzmaurice. Commissioner Randolph.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Randolph. Commissioner Baggert. All right. Please vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Public hearings, staff, do we have any requests for postponement?
Yes, sir. If you flip to the back of the agenda, under amendments to Chapter 125, there's an proposed amendment to the developmental agreement that is being requested for postponement.
Okay. Anyone in the audience wish to speak on this? This is the developers. Is this the one, the administrative comment, Chris?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me. Yeah, this is going to take a minute, but we'll get it off. On page 4. Notice of intention to consider adoption of amendment to develop agreement. A public hearing will be held by the St. Tammany Parish Planning Commission to consider adoption of an amendment to the developmental agreement between St. Tammany Parish and Advanced Mortgage Company to remove lots 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42 of square 31 and lots 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19, 21, 23, 25, 27, 29, 31, 33, 35, 37, 39, 41 of square 21 and add lots 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19, 21, 23, 25, 27, 29, 31, 33, 35, 37, 39, 41 of square 14, lots 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42 of square 15 of South Abita Springs subdivision, also known as Tammany Hills subdivision, removing 42 lots and adding 42 lots. The debtor's Advanced Mortgage Company, Parish Council District, Honorable David Fitzgerald. General location of the property is located on 5th Street between Adams and Jefferson Avenue, Ward 3, District 2. Anyone in the audience wish to speak on this? I'll bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Baggert. Motion by Commissioner Baggert to postpone. Commissioner Seeger.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Seeger. Any further discussion? Please vote.
Motion carries.
3 months around.
Helen, do you have any?
No, sir.
No. All right, good deal. All right, the first item is entering the parish right-of-way. Request to enter the parish right-of-way for Audubon Street, Town of Mandeville subdivision, for the purpose of extending the street and installing drainage features. The debtors William H. Johnson, Parish Council District Representatives Honorable Jake Groby. The property is located on the north side of LeVar Street, east of Foy Street, Ward 4, District 7. Staff?
Yes, sir. The petitioner is requesting permission to enter the parish right-of-way for the purpose of gaining access to the property.
All right, thank you. Is the petitioner here?
I'm here.
Okay, you have any, you want to have any comments for the commission?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, all right. Anyone else wish to speak either for or against? I'll close it to the public and bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Crawford.
Move for approval.
Motion by Commissioner Crawford to approve. Commissioner Fitzmars.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Fitzmars. Any further discussion? Please vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next one is entering the parish right-of-way. Request to enter the parish right-of-way for Coffee Street and Oak Street, Town of Mandeville subdivision, for the purpose of improvement of the streets and installing drainage features. The debtors Ginger Crest Incorporated, for instance, Racetrack Petroleum Incorporated. Parish Council District Representatives Honorable Maureen O'Brien. General location, the property located on the north side of Florida Street, east of Coffee Street, west of Oak Street, Mandeville, Louisiana, Ward 4, District 10. Staff?
Yes, sir. The petitioner is requesting to enter the parish right-of-way to improve the roadways and drainage.
All right. Is the petitioner here? Do you have any comments for the, Okay, thank you. Anyone else in the audience wish to speak either for or against on this? Seeing no one, I'll bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Baggert.
Move.
Motion by Commissioner Baggert to approve. Commissioner Fitzmaurice.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Fitzmaurice. Any further discussion? Please vote.
Patrick? Tom? Okay,
Press it one time.
one time.
It's on.
Bert? Push it once, please. Okay, don't touch it.
Odd numbers are the key.
Motion carries.
Thank you. All right, minor subdivision review. 2019-1667 MSP, or minor subdivision of 7.76 acres into parcels 1 and 2. The owner is Melanie A. Pichon, surveyors J.V. Burks and Associates. Parish Council District Representatives honor Steve Stefancic. The property is located on the east side of Corner Drive, north of US 190, Ward 9, District 11. Staff?
The applicant is requesting to create two parcels from a 7.76 acre parcel. The minor subdivision request requires a public hearing due to the fact that parcel 1 does not meet the minimum lot width of 80 feet along Corner Road and requiring a waiver of the regulation. And parcel 2 does not have public road frontage and is being accessed via an access servitude which is partially connected to a parish road and also requiring a waiver of the regulation. Staff is not opposed to the request to create the two parcels subject to the 5 conditions listed below.
Thank you. Ms. Pichon, are you in the audience? Okay. You have any comments for the commission? Come to the mic, please.
Explain what you're doing.
No, I just would like to live in my home. I've been there for going on 16 years.
Okay, and you're just wanting to split this acreage?
Yes, sir. My mother gave me an acre of land after Katrina.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else in the audience wish to speak either for or against on this item? Seeing no one, I'll bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Seeger.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Seeger to approve. Commissioner Randolph. Commissioner Drum. Didn't want to let you talk.
I turned it off. I pushed it twice. This is with waivers subject to also the recommendations, right?
Right.
Okay.
If you want to just amend the request and just state that it's with the two waivers. Mr. Seeger? He said yes.
Okay. You're comfortable with that too, Ron? Yes, sir. Okay. All right, any further discussion? Please vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Have a safe trip home. It looks like we're getting some bad weather starting to move in, so. You can't do that, Baggert. All right, 2019-1701 MSP, a minor subdivision of 4.49 acres and 1 acre into parcels A and B. The owner is James C. Hall and Lyle Laperouse. Okay. Surveyor is Land Surveying LLC. Parish Council District Representatives Honorable Marty Dean. This property is located on the east side of Louisiana 1077, north of Dummy Line Road, Ward 1, District 1. Staff?
The applicant is requesting to create two parcels from a 5.49 acre parcel The minor subdivision request requires a public hearing due to the fact that parcel B does not have public road frontage, is gonna be accessed via a 25-foot access servitude, as staff does not have any objection to the request.
All right, thank you. Anyone here to speak on this case? Hall or LaPerouse? Okay, you want to come to the mic and state your name, please?
That's all right. Let's hear it, 'cause when we-
James Hall. We're just separating it to build our homes. That's all. Just our home that we're gonna live in.
Okay, all right. Any further discussion? Anyone else in the audience wish to speak for or against? I'll bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Fitzmaurice.
Move for approval.
Motion by Commissioner Fitzmaurice to approve, Commissioner Randolph. Second by Commissioner Randolph. Any further discussion? Please vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you. 2019-1710-MSP, a minor subdivision of 2.98 acres into parcels A and B. The owners are Brian and Mary Byers. Surveyor is Land Surveying LLC. Parish Council District Representatives, Honorable Richard Tanner. The property located on the west side of Allen Road, south of Gerald Road, Ward 10, District 6. Staff?
The applicant is requesting to create two parcels from a 2.98 acre parcel. The minor subdivision request requires a public hearing due to parcel B not having public road frontage and being accessed through a 20-foot access servitude, and staff is in favor of the request.
Thank you. Are the buyers here? Please come to the mic, state your name, and you can lift that mic up so it's more appropriate,
I'm Brian, this is my wife Mary.
okay?
We just wanted to divide the property to give our son, which is disabled, a place to live, and our house be on the other side.
Okay,
And a right of way to come through so that, you know, he can access his home.
all right, good deal. Anyone else wish to speak either for or against? I'll bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Seeger.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Seeger to approve, Commissioner Baggert.
Can I speak?
It's on.
Yeah, my only question is, when you're subdividing this land, how come you don't have any access to the road?
But we can't find who owns that other road there.
No, I'm talking about Allen Road. How come you didn't?
Oh, because there's it's wetlands through there, and I can't put a road through there.
Ah,
I use the high ground.
okay. Okay.
You can't go hunt pigs in there either.
Second?
All right, second by Commissioner Baggert. Any further discussion? Please vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you. 2019-1719-MSP, a minor subdivision of 37.49 acres into parcels A, B, C, and D. Owner is Terrence P. Ryan and Terrence P. Ryan Jr. Surveyor is Land Surveying LLC. Parish Council District Representatives, Honorable Red Thompson. The property located on the south side of Boyd Road, east of Tantilla Ranch Road, Ward 1, District 3. Staff?
The applicant is requesting to create four parcels from a 37.49 acre parcel. The minor subdivision request requires a public hearing due to the front parcel identified as parcel A does not have parish road frontage and is accessed through a private drive requiring a waiver of the regulation. The front parcel identified as parcel A does not meet the minimum lot width of 300 feet required under the A1 Suburban District and requiring a waiver of the regulation. Also, parcel C is proposed to be accessed through a 30-foot access servitude that does not currently exist and it was not created before the creation of the urban growth boundary. which requires a waiver by the Planning Commission. And I would also like to point out that not only voting on the three, the three requested waiver, but the board would also have to state if the 30-foot access servitude, will remain as a servitude, or it will, if it has to be improved as the same way with the standards of a 30-foot right-of-way, just like Board Road, or if it will be determined to complete it at the time of construction.
Okay, thank you. Are one of the Ryans here?
I'm Terrence Ryan, Junior representative.
Come to the mic, please. Come to the mic. Please state your name.
Alicia Bosch.
Okay,
Both the Ryans are out of state working, so
okay, you
I'm here
making
to,
them work hard, huh?
they do work hard. I'm just here to report the outcome to him.
Okay, all right. Anyone else wish to speak in favor? All right. I do. Mr. Martin. Good evening.
Hi, John Martin, 12375 ARC. The Ryans, the parents, of course, have passed, and the kids are dividing the property up at the end of the road. It's a good family, and they're just trying to get everybody a place, at the end of the road. And we certainly don't have any objection to this. I know they've got to figure-majig around so that the waivers and all of that get done properly. But we all would like to see this family have the property and have it divided up among the kids.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do you have any problem with the waivers, ma'am? Did you understand the waivers?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've been on the property, and I know once again, I've walked
Okay,
it.
and she and the Ryans understand what they need to do now?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah, and they're out of town, they're welders, and, they're out of town doing work.
okay, all right. Thanks, Doc.
Thank you.
All right, any further discussion from the public? I'll bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Willie.
Yeah, this is fine. I move for approval
Mr.
with the waivers, all three waivers.
Oh, hold on, Mr. Willie, if you would, please take a look at the third bullet point, parcel C. Not only to include the three waivers, but also the commission will have to decide in regards to the 30-foot access servitude. Would you like to remain, it to remain as a servitude driveway? And, would you like to have it improved to, as a 30-foot right-of-way, just like Boyd Road? And also need to determine the time to complete the construction of the access. So if it remains as just a servitude, then it will just be done if they ever apply for a building permit, or you can impose that it'll be constructed right now, and completed before this plat is recorded.
Well, I'm not aware of their time frame as far as building permits. Anybody can answer that?
It's not a question of to determine when the building permit, you can the board has to decide, or the commission has to decide if the 30-foot right-of-way has to be improved right now before we record the plat, or if it can be done at any time later on when when it's necessary to access parcel C.
Probably later on, if I had to guess.
I would think that would be the easiest for the family.
Okay, so
To
just,
find out where the houses are going and everything else.
Exactly.
Right?
just keep it as a servitude.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments? All right. You made a motion to approve with the waivers and
Yes.
straight on the right-of-way, right?
Mhm.
All right, Commissioner Crawford.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Crawford. Any further discussion? Please vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you. All right, next item's 2019-1727-MSP, a minor subdivision of 4.582 acres into parcels A and B Owners, Ferrera Cottages LLC, Doug Ferrera. Surveyors, John G. Cummings and Associates. Parish Council District Representatives, Honorable David Fitzgerald. The general location, property located on the west side of Military Road, Louisiana Highway 21, north of Highway 36, Covington, Ward 3, District 2. Staff?
The applicant is requesting to create two parcels from a 4.582 acre parcel. The minor subdivision request requires a public hearing due to parcel A not having public road frontage and being accessed through a 20-foot access servitude, and staff is not opposed to the request.
Thank you. All right, the Ferreras,
Yes.
please state your name, son.
My name's Douglas Ferrer. This is a property my brother and I inherited. It's been in the family since 1930. We're just seeking to subdivide, leaving the main house with 1 acre, a little over 1 acre, and then the back of the property. So we can hopefully sell the front main house and maintain the back property.
Okay. All right, thank you. Anyone else in the audience wish to speak either for or against on this item? Seeing no one, I'll close it to the public and bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Willie.
Move for approval.
Motion by Commissioner Willie to approve. Commissioner Randolph.
Second?
Second by Commissioner Randolph. Commissioner Baggett.
Yeah, my question is, again, if you plan to sell the front piece and you don't have a right-of-way to the second piece.
Yes, sir, due down the right-hand side of the servitude. Wait a minute,
There is
come
a
on up to
servitude.
the mic.
Yes, sir.
There is a servitude?
It's on the drawing, yes, sir, and it will,
Is
the
it-
other thing it'll do is give the front piece access to the little Bogafalaya River. It'll be shared by both the front parcel and the rear parcel.
Okay, I see it down the side of the property.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I got it.
All right. Thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve. Any further discussion? Please vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Re-subdivision review, 2019-1724-MRP. A re-subdivision of Tract B into Tracts B1 and B2, Phase 4, North Point Business Park. Owners are North Point Business Park LLC, Christopher Lopez and Gary Bourgeois. Surveyors John G. Cummings and Associates. Parish Council District Representative Honorable James Thompson. General location, the property is located on the south side and at the end of North Point Court, west of Louisiana 1077 Covington, Ward 1, District 3. Staff?
The owner is requesting to re-subdivide one lot into two buildable industrial sites. The reason for the public hearing requirement is that the proposal involves the creation or the adjustments of lots within a subdivision that requires approval of the Planning Commission. Staff does not object to the request, subject to comment number 1 to add the signature line.
All right, thank you. Are the folks here Lopez or Bourgeois? Please state your name.
Gary Bourgeois.
Good evening, sir. So, you're just wanting to divide this for marketing purposes?
No, we have a purchaser that's gonna buy the lot.
Okay, all right. All right, anyone else in the audience wish to speak on this or against? I'll close it to the public, bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Willie.
Yeah, this subdivision is appropriate. I move for approval.
Motion by Commissioner Willie to approve. Commissioner Randolph.
Second?
Second by Commissioner Randolph. Any further discussion? Please vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next item is 2019-1726 MRP, a re-subdivision of lots 1 through 14, lot 76, lots C1 through C8, and a 10.3 acre tract into lots 1A through 14A, 15 through 28, GS5, and a 10.49 acre tract, Phase 1, Covington Place Cottages. The owner is Title Group LLC, Adam Henning. Surveyors Randall Brown and Associates. Parish Council District Representative Honorable David Fitzgerald. The property located on the north side of 10th Street, the west side of Covington Cottage Lane, and on the north and south side of Craftsman Court, Covington, Ward 3, District 2. Staff?
If you recall, the same site was in front of you, if I'm not mistaken, at the November zoning meeting. They were requesting a major amendment to the PUD, and they are here in front of you this month to request approval to re-subdivide 24 lots into 30 residential sites. And the reason for the public hearing is that it involves the adjustment of more than 6 lots within a subdivision that requires approval from the Planning Commission. It also consists of an amendment of the previously approved Phase 1 of the subdivision, and staff is in favor of the request.
Thank you. Mr. Henning, you in the audience? Mr. Shane?
Good evening. Jeff Shane of the Jones Fussell Law Firm, P.O. Box 1810 in Covington, representing the owner and developer. As staff has noted, this is the same PUD that you amended as a zoning commission last month, which time we told you we'd be seeing you this month with a re-subdivision to effectuate that PUD plan. So we would appreciate your re-subdivision of the property as per the plat. We certainly will submit revised plats that will bear the municipal addresses of each lot. If any of you have any questions, I'll be glad to address them.
Thank you, Mr. Shane. Anyone else in the audience wish to speak for or against on this? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Seeger.
Mr. Shane, I noticed that there are 30 residential sites. When I look at the survey, I only see 28 that are numbered.
Plus, you also have parcel GS-5, and then you have the 10.49 acre tract.
Thank you.
I'm sure glad staff helped me with that. I'm not sure I would have been quite so quick with the draw.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Seeger to approve. Commissioner Fitzmaurice.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Fitzmaurice. Any further discussion? Please vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you. All right, petitions and waiver requests, we have none. Dormant subdivisions, we have none. Tentative subdivision review, we have none. Preliminary subdivision review, we have none. And then we get down to the good part, the final subdivision review. All right, 2019-1687 FP, Oaklawn Trace Phase 1. The developer owner is J-Mac Development LLC. The engineer surveyor is Kelly McHugh and Associates. Parish Council District Representative Honorable Steve Stefanczyk. General location, the property is located on the south side of US 190, east of Transmitter Road, west of South Tranquility Road, Lacombe, Ward 7, District 7. Staff?
Yes, sir. The developer requested postponement for the November 12th, 2019 Planning Commission meeting. Periodic inspections have been made by this office during construction, and a final inspection was made on October 22nd, 2019. The inspection disclosed that all the asphalt roadways were constructed, and the roadside ditches and shoulders needed final grading. Postponement of this submittal is advised due to the following uncompleted items that existed at the time of the final inspection and review of the provided plans. These items will need to be completed prior to the plats being signed. 1, roadside ditches within drainage servitudes need to be regraded to provide positive flow. 2, numerous cross culverts have been silted in and need to be cleaned. 3, the new connection for Oaklawn Trace at US Highway 190 is showing signs of raveling and needs to be corrected. 4, riprap and numerous outfall pipe locations needs to be reinstalled. 5, pond banks and pond tops need to be vegetated to eliminate erosion and siltation into the detention ponds. 6, the fire hydrant across from lot number 6 needs to be raised to the proper grade. 7, lots numbers 84 through 88 have incorrect addressing. The addresses need to be revised per addressing spreadsheet provided for this development. 8, lot number 22 and the lift station have incorrect addressing. Revised addresses per addressing spreadsheet provided for this development.
Thank you, sir.
9, show the 60-foot drainage servitude from pond number 2 extending to the trace right-of-way. 10, label the 20-foot drainage servitude on the east side of pond number 1. 11, label the drainage servitude pond number 1 and pond number 2 on the plat. 12, provide parcel labels for all green space parcels on the plat. 13, label the 20-foot drainage and utility servitude on the plat between lots 21 and 22. 14, revise the paving and drainage plan to better delineate the 20-foot drainage servitude between ponds number 1 and pond number 2. 15, provide as-built information for the newly constructed left turn lane on Highway 190. 16, label the drainage servitude to the east of lot number 15. 17, provide as-built information for the outfall ditch and drainage improvements located within the trace right-of-way. 18, update the driveway culvert schedule to include lots numbers 85 through 88. 19, verify lots numbers 84 through 89 are supposed to be rear to front drainage. 20, provide pond bottom as-built elevations to verify the minimum required 5-foot depth for wet ponds is being provided. 21, the contact recommends that A2000 pipe exposed to UV for a period longer than 2 years should be covered or coated. Numerous sections of drain pipe were not installed to these manufacturers' recommendations and will become brittle over time due to UV exposure. 22, there is an existing ditch between lots number 23 and 24 that is not shown on the as-built plans. Revise the as-built to denote this existing temporary drainage feature where this ditch needs to be filled in accordance with the approved drainage and grading plan. 23, revise the drainage servitude between pond number 2 and the trace to be 60 feet as shown on the as-built paving and drainage plan. 24, provide as-built information for the newly constructed water well site. 25, provide as-built information for the newly constructed wastewater treatment site. 26, revise sewer note number 24 to include the new DEQ ID number for this project. 27, provide a revised letter of acceptance for the sewer system from Clearstream Utilities, stating that they are now responsible to own and maintain all sewer infrastructure associated with this subdivision. 28, provide a letter of acceptance for the water system for this subdivision. 29, provide a clear water test for the new water lines within this development. 30, provide permit documentation and approvals for the new water system for this subdivision. 31, provide permit documentation and approvals for the new sewer system for this subdivision. 32, verify that lots numbers 21 and 22 have a sewer service provided as shown on the as-built water and sewer plan. 33, revised plan to show all-way stop-controlled intersections and add all-way plaques. The required recreational facilities for Oaklawn Trace shall be completed before the final plat for the next phase of Oaklawn Trace can be recorded. Should the planning commission approve the request for final approval, a warranty obligation will be required for the infrastructure in the amount of 3,450 linear feet at $12 per linear foot for a total of $41,400 for a period of 1 year. No mandatory developmental fees are required since the public hearing was held prior to January 1st, 2005. The voluntary development agreement for this development is under review and will need to be finalized before the plats can be recorded. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Shane.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Again, Jeff Shane of the Jones Fussell Law Firm at P.O. Box 1810 in Covington. I represent the developer and owner of this project, J-Mac Development LLC. I guess first maybe the things that we take responsibility for as it relates to seeing this 33-point list. That's the same 33-point list that you had in your packet at our November meeting. We failed to timely file a response and revised drawings with staff. I think the due date was November 25th, the Monday before Thanksgiving, if I remember correctly. And as you can see from the letter I have given you this evening, the data has been submitted, but not until a week later, December 3rd, which was just a little over a week ago. So I understand and respect the process under which we work, and The commission has made it abundantly clear that when we come to you for final, it's one thing if we have a few items that have not been resolved, but you don't like to see a long list. What I would ask you to at least peruse or look at is that Mr. McHugh has provided responses to each of the 33 items, and without exception, in his view, all have been satisfied. I realize I said in his view. I recognize that you don't have a pronouncement from staff. I realize that it's not staff's job to review these revised reports when they're submitted late. But I do know that the subdivision, again, this is a final, and I would only suggest that if you were so inclined to grant approval, staff can still go through the same process. If they're not comfortable with what they see and they want to put this on the docket again for next month, that's fine. But again, I would ask that you consider granting final approval tonight, subject to the responses that Mr. McHugh has provided. One of the things I did not provide to you that I should have is that a few days after the letter of December 3rd, we also provided, Mr. McHugh provided the turning lane diagram drawing. And again, I'm sure that's something that staff has not had an opportunity to review. I will be glad to address any questions or comments or thoughts that any of you may have as to how we proceed.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Shane.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else in the audience wish to speak for or against? Seeing no one, I'll bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Crawford.
I had a couple of comments here, a couple of questions, I guess. First question would be for staff. The information that's been provided by Mr. McHugh, does that satisfy anything or change any recommendations from staff for postponement for this?
This is the first time that I've actually looked at this, so I haven't had an opportunity to review this or evaluate it.
That's what I thought. Also, we didn't get any drawings in our packet. At least I didn't have any, so I don't believe we had any drawings that went with this.
Okay.
Am I incorrect in that? Okay.
I don't know. I got drawings over here, but,
Anyone else get?
I don't believe.
There was no official submittal, so there was no drawings included to include in the packet.
Okay.
Okay.
I believe the only thing that's been submitted is this letter on the 3rd, and then a subsequent drawing of the turn lane a few days later, but no revised drawings.
Okay. I see a bunch of will be repaired, will be painted, will be done type things. Don't like to see those, especially on a final. But I do have one question, and that's about the item number 28. Developer will own and maintain the water system. I'm not sure if that's a new development since it talked about a private company doing that. But my question would be to staff, is there any warranty obligation or anything that would be required with that for the developer to own and maintain that system? Or is that undetermined at this point?
It's undetermined at this point. It's our understanding that Clear Water Streams, I believe it was Clear Streams Utilities was going to be the provider and who would own and maintain it. And we were unaware until this moment that the developer would consider owning and maintaining it. So we'd have to look into that further.
Okay, okay. Okay, from that standpoint, I see there's some other folks that have some comments, so I'll defer to them for now.
Okay, Commissioner Randolph.
Yes. Mr. Shane, I have a couple questions. Item number 3, the new connection for Oak Lawn and showing signs of raveling and need be correcting. And you have new connection will be repaired. What will that involve and how long do you think that would take?
I'm not sure what it involves, but I know my engineer's not with me this evening. It's not your problem, that's mine. But I honestly don't know, other than I assume that they've got to stabilize the road surface area where this raveling is occurring. But as to when that's scheduled and how long it takes, I was told that all of these items either were physically complete as of now or would be within 7 to 10 days.
Okay.
So that's a general answer, but that's the best I can give you.
Okay, and can anybody, and not just to you, Mr. Shane, but item number 6, just for my benefit, what is the proper grade for a fire hydrant? Huh? It depends.
It's relative to.
So essentially, you need to have 18 inches of clearance around each one of the nozzles for the fire department to be able to turn their wrench when they go to open up the hydrant.
Cool.
So proper clearance would be 18 inches
inches.
of clearance, so they can
Okay.
fit a wrench on there.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Ron, you have any further comments?
With these items, I'd like to go in and make a motion to approve the final, subject to the items that need to be corrected.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Randolph to approve. Commissioner Fitzmaurice.
Yeah. So I typically wouldn't do it, go on, but I'm going to second it only because, well, quite frankly, I trust you and Mr. McHugh, and I don't think you get up here and tell us something you didn't believe to be accurate. While staff hasn't had a chance to review this yet, they will have the opportunity before any, final plans are stamped. So I'll go ahead and approve, or make a motion to second.
Second by Commissioner Fitzmaurice. I'm gonna make a comment here. I really have a problem approving this. Simply because, Mr. McHugh's list was, given to staff late. They haven't had an opportunity to go back out to the site and confirm that things have been done and done correctly. And with that in mind, I'm really going to ask the commission to postpone this until next month, give staff an opportunity, and they said in their notes here that they suggested that it be postponed. Postponement of this submittal is advised due to the following uncompleted items. Well, we have a list here that says it's been completed, but staff has not had an opportunity to go out to the site and be sure that everything is completed and completed correctly. So with that in mind, Ron, I'm gonna ask you if you would consider changing your motion to approve to postpone. And if you say no, then we'll go forward. Yeah, yeah, sure can. Commissioner Baggert.
I was gonna make a motion to postpone, but we gotta vote on the first motion first.
Yeah.
Huh?
You can make a motion to postpone.
You make a motion to postpone, it takes precedent.
Yeah, if you get a second for your motion to postpone, that motion takes precedent over a motion
I'll
to approve.
make a motion to postpone.
Okay, Commissioner Baggert, made a motion to postpone, which takes precedence over the previous motion. Commissioner Drum,
I second the motion to postpone.
okay? And we have to
Until the
deal
staff
with,
has a
deal
chance
with
to go out
this
there and
one
look at it.
first. Okay, we have a motion and a second.
1 month?
Yeah.
1 month, yeah. Okay, we have a motion and a second to postpone. I have Commissioner Drum, you in the queue.
Say again?
You're in the queue. Okay, all right. We have a motion and a second to postpone 1 month. Please vote on that motion.
Motion failed. No, motion carries?
Motion carried, we have 6.
We have 6. It
Six.
says failed. I don't know why it says failed.
That is correct.
Yeah, it's correct.
Motion to postpone carried.
Okay. No, motion to postpone was approved. So we will see this again next month on our agenda. And Mr. Shane, thank you for providing, tell Mr. McHugh thank you for providing, but by the same token, staff has not had an opportunity to go out and check and be sure all this is done. And that's the reason we're postponing.
I appreciate the time that the commission's taken deliberating it this evening. I understand the decision. Our job will be to come back to you in January with a better report. Thank you.
Okay, Clearwater, is this a new utility company? Is it just gonna be on this subdivision, or? I haven't seen it before.
It's relatively new to us. I'm not sure as far as how long they've been around or where they came around from or originated.
We're doing some things in that region, but it is a new company that does not have a long history in this parish.
Okay, I just haven't seen it on, that I recall, on any of our subdivisions. All right? So that was postponed. All right, next item is 2019-1688 FP, Wingfield, developer owners Bruno Brothers Real Estate, engineer surveyors Aero Engineering and Consulting. Honorable James Thompson is the councilman. General location, the property is located on the north side of Joyner-Weimer Road, west of Louisiana 1077 Covington, Ward 1, District 3. Staff?
Thank you. The developer requested postponement for the November 12th, 2019 Planning Commission meeting. Periodic inspections have been made by this office during construction, and a final inspection was made on October 24th, 2019. A confirmation inspection was made on November 26, 2019. The confirmation inspection disclosed that all the asphalt roads are constructed, the road shoulders need to be reconstructed, and the roadside ditches need final grading.
Thank you.
Oh.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Postponement of submittal is advised due to the following uncompleted items that existed at the time of the confirmation inspection and review of the provided plans. These items will need to be completed before the plats are signed. 1, a recreational facilities plan needs to be submitted and approved for this development. Once approved, the required facilities need to be constructed before the final plats for the next phase of Wingfield subdivision can be recorded. 2, provide roadway-based testing results. 3, provide asphalt roadway testing results. 4, provide utility trench bedding test results. 5, provide utility trench backfill testing results. 6, shoulders along Crossvine Drive near the areas disturbed by the waterline work need to be regraded. 7, ditches along Crossvine Drive near the areas disturbed by the waterline work need to be regraded. 8, ditches along Plumegrass Drive need to be regraded to provide positive flow. 9, detention pond 1 and 2, top of banks and slopes need to be vegetated and a mature stand of grass established. 10, establish and regrade roadside ditches and shoulders along Joyner-Weimer Road. 11, grade and vegetate the back slope by the outfall pipe for pond number 2. 12, erosion control measures were removed in areas associated with waterline repairs. These erosion control measures need to be reinstalled where vegetation is not established to avoid further erosion. 13, ditches along the west side of Silverthorne Street near Plumegrass Drive need to be regraded to provide positive flow. 14, the 30-foot drainage servitude between lots 9 and 10 needs to be regraded to provide positive flow. 15, revise the title block section on all plan sheets to state Wingfield subdivision, Phase 1. 16, the road names shown on all plan sheets will need to be updated to reflect the 911 addressing approved road names once provided. 17, the green space behind lot number 30 does not have an access servitude in order for it to be maintained by the HOA. Revise the plans to provide this green space with an access servitude for maintenance. 18, the developer needs to contact the 911 addressing office to have the addressing completed. Once the addressing is completed, these addresses need to be added to the final plat. 19, revise the legal description to reflect Phase 1 of Wingfield subdivision and exclude the future phase parcels. 20, revise the general information table to reflect the revised area and number of lots for Phase 1 of Wingfield subdivision. 21, the inverts shown along Button Bush Drive do not provide positive flow. The roadside ditch needs to be regraded or the as-built need to be verified to ensure this ditch has positive flow. 22, provide pipe materials, size, and invert elevations in all drainage structures. 23, the Beatico Creek cross-section needs to be revised to show the correct width and the 50-foot no-cut buffers from the mean top bank. 24, the drawing index needs to be revised to correctly match the plan set submitted for Wingfield subdivision Phase 1. 25, provide clear water tests for the new water lines installed in association with Wingfield subdivision. 26, provide a letter of acceptance and responsibility for the perpetual maintenance and operation of the water and sewer systems from the utility provider. 27, provide written verification from the utility provider that the existing water and sewer systems this development is connecting to have sufficient capacity. 28, provide an as-built plan for the sewer force main extension required from Wingfield subdivision to Tuscany subdivision. Include a cross-section or call-outs on this plan showing the as-built location and depth for the sewer force main within the Joyner-Weimer Road right-of-way. 29, revise the sewer force main call-out to clearly identify the correct sewer line. 30, revise conflicts with the fire hydrant call-outs in legend. 31, revise the water line tie-in at Bunny Lane to call out to reflect the correct sheet number. 32, 911 addressing has not approved the proposed street names within this development. Street name signage previously installed may need to be reinstalled if 911 addressing does not approve the proposed street names. 33, update the Bunny Lane cross-section to show the as-built location of the water line, including the depth and location of the new water line within the Bunny Lane right-of-way. Should the Planning Commission approve the request for final approval, a warranty obligation will be required for the infrastructure in the amount of 8,736 linear feet at $22 per linear foot for a total of $192,200 for a period of 2 years. Mandatory developmental fees are required as follows. Road impact fees at $1,077 per lot for a total of 40 lots for a total of $43,080. And drainage impact fees at $1,114 per lot for 40 lots for a total of $44,560. Fees are due before subdivision plats can be signed. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
I'm Darrell Fassell with Arrow Engineering, 237 Natchez Trace, Covington, and I'm representing the owner, Bruno Brothers. And I understand the commissions, and I've heard over the years about the number of items. I'd only say that final approval could be given for the final plans and the plat to be signed, the plat, main thing that has to be signed, based on all these punch list items being completed. And just to summarize those items, item 1 is for the administrative approval of a plan for the recreational area, and we submitted that plan. That will be constructed in Phase 2, and then item 2 through 6 are concerning the test results for the road base and paving, and those test results have recently been submitted to the engineering department. And then items 7 through 14 are for fine grading of isolated area. This subdivision of 47 lots has 8,736 feet of roadways and ditches, and the majority of the roadways, the shoulders and ditches, are in great shape. The contractor is continuing to work with the engineering department until the work is approved. We've met with Mr. Reynolds last Friday, and they continue to seed and install erosion control and do that work. The ditch work was kind of complicated because we had a long delay in this project because of some confusion on many people's parts on where we could tie the water line in on, and that delayed us for months. So the ditches were overgrown, and then when they were regraded, we lost all of our grass, and so that started that process over again. And then items 15, 17, 19, 20 through 25 are for minor changes to the submitted as-built plan, plat, revising notes or call-outs to make the plans clearer. And then items 16, 18, and 33 are related to the 911 addresses, which we have received now, and they're placed on the plat today, and so that plat will be submitted soon. And then Items 26 through 29 are for the administrative approval of the constructed water lines and sewer lines by Tammany Utilities. And the water line from Willow Bend to Wingfield entrance has been accepted by Tammany Utilities, and the gravity sewer lines have been lamped and passed inspection. The water and sewer lines have passed pressure test, and we're just waiting on the clear water test from Tammany Utilities, and I'm going to meet them Thursday afternoon out at the site to go over some things. So once again, we will continue to work with the engineering department to meet their approval. And of course, the final plats won't be signed until that approval is given.
All right, thank you. Mr. Bruno.
Hi. Been a while, but anyway, Robert Bruno, 70325, Highway 1077, Suite 300. Red Thompson asked me, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, to do something special, do something different. And stupid me did something special and something different. I took 163 acres of beautiful land and put 47 lots. I ran 4,500 feet of water line on my own nickel down the road, Joyner-Weimer Road. I put in fire hydrants on my own nickel. I ran 6,500 feet of sewage into to connect it to Tuscany West. I spent over a year of my life in multiple meetings with the department. I'm not here to throw anybody under the bus. It is what it is. We're understaffed. They are what they are. Mr. Doherty, I understand everything you just said. With respect to my great friend, Jeff Shane, brilliant lawyer, this project is nothing to do with what you said before. If we are going to change the character of this parish, and I'm not throwing the production builders under the bus, but somebody's got to step forward and do something great. We brought HCA. Whatever you think of the 1 million square foot deal, not my purview. Without our family, it wouldn't have happened. We brought Global Star to this parish. We brought shopping centers. We brought thousands of jobs to this parish. We have done everything according to the law and the rules. We have begged this department to come out and inspect and look and tell us what we can do. One telling fact. Again, I'm not criticizing overworked folks. Shoulders along Crossvine need to be regraded. Crossvine's about 1,000 feet long. You tell me where. It's a beautiful, it looks pretty darn good to me. Well, we found out there were 3 spots, and the 3 spots were because we had to fix the water line when we were doing our testing. Once they fixed, we put our erosion control back up there, and it's done. Everything they asked us to do is done. Now, have they been out there again? No, but I asked them to. Now, again, I'm not throwing Chris and these guys under the bus. I mean, they got a lot of work to do. We have $5 million into this project. So I'm asking you folks, we postponed it for a month. That's interest on that money. We have sales. People want this. They really want this. This is 5 minutes from Rouse's, 5 minutes from Hannon High School. If I fail, nobody's going to do anything like this. So it's like, yeah, sure, we could postpone it another month. That's another month of, I probably lost a lot. I only got 47 to sell. So I stuck my neck out. And I think that we've proved ourselves as good stewards and great citizens of this parish. I live here. I've raised my children here. I've lost children here. It's been a tough road, but we're proud of this subdivision. So all I'm asking you to do, what Darrell said, quite honestly, all you're doing tonight is giving us final approval. These folks got to come back out there. They're going to look it all over, and they're going to, they're going to say, okay, Bruno, you did this, you did that, most of it, but the final plat, it doesn't get signed unless they say it's good to go. But what does that do for me as the developer? what that does, with my final approval, then I can work with these folks, get them out there maybe in the next week, hopefully, or two, get those plats signed, I can sell those lots, and I can roll. If I have to wait another month, then we're back to square one. These are just like Jeff said, these are the same exact comments that there were before. In fact, I kind of made a joke. I said, well, we postponed it and they added 2 or 3. I said, if I postpone it again, they might add 3 or 4. So I can't keep postponing. I mean, I got to face the music at some point. So I could go on ad nauseum. All I'm trying to tell you is, Kellen McHugh's a great guy. He does great work. Jeff Shane's a brilliant lawyer. This is a different project. These are minor issues. I could assure you they're minor issues because they've all been fixed. So, yeah, at some point, you got to take a chance. Say a guy like, he's telling the truth. Well, guess what? I've proved it. My family's proved it. We tell the truth. We do what we have to do. We respect the people we work with. But this has been one very tough project. And, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to get out of here with my skin, but I got to get going. I got to sell some lots. It's a beautiful subdivision. I invite all you all to go out, drive out there tomorrow. It just really is something that we need in this parish. Maybe this is irrelevant, maybe it's not. Maybe this is just for the general spirit of our parish. I have property in Waveland. The mayor of Waveland came to my office. He brought his entire planning office. He brought all his tax incentives. He came here. I just went to Dallas to look at a project. We lost 30 jobs in Metairie this week. When I went to Dallas to look at this building, there were 30 people there. There were representatives from the mayor's office. No, we're not Dallas. We never want to be Dallas. But it's very difficult to get your complaints and then the turnaround. So you file on the 15th, and then you get, they go out there a couple of weeks later. I mean, they're busy. They get you get, these are not like, a lot of this stuff is all just clerical. But you got to get tractors, you got to get stuff out there, and we did it. And we had a short turnaround this month. So all I'm asking you to do is give us final approval. Nothing is going to go on at this property until they are satisfied. And I know I'm not criticizing anybody for not being able to get out there because it's the holiday season, time's tough. We got a transition, got a new folks coming in and that. So that's my case. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Bruno. Any further discussion from the public, either for or against? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Randolph.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I forget your name, sir. Mr. Bruno. Yes. Mr. Bruno. No questions, but appreciate your presentation and your passion and what you do and how you actually have invested and also trying to protect that investment to move forward, to at least make some profit and to bring something to the parish. To our staff, thank you. How do you all feel about what Mr. Bruno, what's y'all opinion, what's y'all position on those things concerning these items already being addressed and not being able to receive the full cooperation to clear these items up?
Can you give me one question, and I'll address that as we go? There's a couple of dimensions to that question there.
Okay, take them as you want. That way we'll make it simple.
Okay.
Take it as you want.
So, as Mr. Bruno said, we do have a backlog of work, and we have a number of projects going on concurrently. And so we basically schedule everything out about a month in advance, 2 to 4 weeks in advance. We just hadn't had an opportunity to go, everybody gets one inspection after they submit for the planning commission meeting. And so if they get postponed and they resubmit, we'll go do another inspection at that time. If they get final approval, at that point, we'll go schedule an inspection to go take a look. As far as whether they've been addressed or not, I don't have an opinion on that matter. It's just their word at this point. I have yet to put eyes on it or look at the documentation due to the current backlog.
And with that in mind, I can understand how limitations can exist when you're shorthanded and when you actually have a growing parish with the volume of work that need to be done in order to inspect and to improve and to get back to, if it's not done, I can understand that. And I have to take the staff's opinion. I have to go along with their expertise and what they do every day, Mr. Bruno, and to my commissioners. I just have to make a motion to move to postpone for 1 month.
Okay. Motion by Commissioner Randolph to postpone for 1 month. Commissioner Richard.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I went through these with great detail like everyone else, and there are a lot of just ministerial type corrections. I also had the opportunity, like the rest of us, just received a handout with a pretty detailed response on all the items, in addition to Mr. Bruno's testimony. On this particular one, I feel a little differently because the staff, unlike the last one, which recommended postponement, did not recommend postponement on this one.
Yes, I did.
I did not see that. I missed that. I understand that the work has been done, and unlike the last case where we had some drawings that they needed to look at on a turn lane, et cetera, this seems to more be ditches need to be graded, et cetera. So I don't, and test results that need to come in. And we've seen a lot of cases where we've had test results come in later, and we allow our staff to, once those results come in, approve it. I think what's throwing us more than anything else is there's 30-some-odd items on the list, not so much the nature of the items. So I'm gonna make a motion to approve, subject to staff comments, and clearly the staff is going to have to. That hasn't had a second yet. Okay, once it has a second, then I couldn't have this comment. So, again, my motion is to approve, subject to staff comments, and clearly our staff has got to approve all of it before any plats could be signed. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Commissioner Baggett.
I'm sorry. I was all ready to vote to postpone, but your passionate plea convinced me, and I understand the money situation. And so I'll second the motion. And if I ever get arrested, I'm gonna call you to represent me.
Which motion?
His, to approve.
All right. Any other comment?
No.
Okay. Commissioner Crawford.
Okay, thank you. Just had a comment to make, Mr. Bruno. I certainly, I was pretty amazed when I saw this development. You know, the size of the lots, the number of lots, where it's located. I said, this is definitely a fine undertaking. So I commend you for doing this and for, again, your impassioned plea and everything you've said. With that said, I feel pretty strongly about the number of items and most importantly about our staff not having an opportunity to really digest everything that's here. I see that they came out in October, they came out in November. We had a few things that were needed to be attended to, but some important things like testing results and so on, clear water tests, et cetera. So in my opinion, I think it's important to let our staff do their work and support them and make sure that they have an opportunity to make sure that all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. So that's just a general comment that I wanted to make myself. But again, I commend you for this this very nice subdivision in large lots. I think that's something that we need and would like to see more of in this parish. Thank you.
All right, Ron's motion to postpone, Commissioner. Well, Commissioner Crawford just finished, and I'm gonna ask him.
He didn't second the motion.
Not yet, he hadn't.
He didn't second it.
No,
You can second the motion to postpone.
To postpone.
postpone.
That
Okay,
takes precedent. We need to vote on that first.
okay. We have a motion to postpone by Commissioner Randolph and seconded by, Commissioner Crawford. Please vote. Motion fails. Right?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, now we have a motion to approve by Commissioner Baggert and second by, Commissioner Richard and second by Baggert. Let Shelby clear. Please vote.
Motion carries.
Motion passes. All right. Mr. Bruno, as chairman, I want to thank you for your presentation, but by the same token, our staff puts out a list, and for 2020, it's probably real close to being put out as to the timetable on when things have to be turned into the staff. Now, this one went through. Okay, but this commission has had a problem all year long with things coming in, I'm gonna call it half-baked. And this is, to me, was half-baked. I know that you've, from what you've said, you've put a lot of dollars into this project, but by the same token, when we have to go out 2 and 3 times, and this is gonna be at least a third time, I really have a problem with that. Okay?
I appreciate that. I'm not gonna let you down. This is gonna be beautiful, and this is gonna be the leader of the way the parish is gonna look in the future. I can promise you that. Thank y'all.
Thank
Y'all
you.
have a Merry Christmas.
Commissioner Drum, did you have a comment?
Mr. Bruno,
Yes, sir.
I always open my mouth. I take offense that our staff was put down.
No.
In my opinion, it was. These people are very shorthanded. They work very hard. They can't put one person on top of another just because you built something before somebody else did. I will stick with my staff every time. If they say something isn't right, it's not right. And I just thought I'd let you know, like you told us, the way you felt.
You got the greatest staff in the world here. You just need more help. That's all I'm trying to say. And you heard me say 50 times, I'm not throwing anybody in the bus. I've been knowing Helen for, good God, as long as I moved over here. A long, 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 long time ago. Chris is one heck of an engineer. They got a great department. We're losing Sydney. That's just the way it is. That's what elections do. They change things. But I do think, if I could just say, my 2 cents worth, because, I talk. The process has got to be a little different. Like, yeah, there's some scofflaws in this world, but you got to have a little time to react. So when you go and you postpone, and then you file again for the next month, and they get out there, and they're swamped. So they get out there and they're hustling out there. You don't have enough time. So this could go on in perpetuity. So I do appreciate what you did tonight. That's just my 2 cents worth, and maybe we can talk to the council about altering this process and make it a little easier. And hey, if somebody doesn't do it, I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. I would never, ever say anything about these folks. These folks are awesome. Anyway, y'all Merry Christmas.
Thank you. All right, we've got a little mix-up with the numbers on the next 2, but I'm gonna go in order of the, what's on the agenda, which would be 1722 now, okay? So this is, This is at the bottom of page 3 on the agenda. On the agenda, it's got 2019-1721 FP, and it should be 1722. So this is, nothing has changed as far as the verbiage, okay? So this is Lakeshore Villages Phase 4A4, developer, owner is D.R. Horton Incorporated, Gulf Coast, engineer surveyed the plan is Design Group, PC, Acadia Land Surveying LLC, Parish Council District Representative, Honorable Michelle Blanchard. General location, the property is located north of Oak Harbor Boulevard, west of Louisiana 433, east of Interstate 10, Slidell, Ward 9, District 13. Staff?
Yes, sir. Periodic inspections have been made by this office during construction, and the final inspection was made on November 21st, 2019. The inspection disclosed that all the asphalt roads are constructed and the subsurface drainage is functioning. The following uncompleted items exist at the time of the final inspection and review of the provided plans. These items will need to be completed prior to the plats being signed. 1, the median to the south of East Howes Beach roundabout needs final grading and to be vegetated. 2, the East Howes Beach Road and roundabout drainage infrastructure shown in the provided as-built plans differ from the previously approved plans. Provide a written explanation outlining the reasoning for the drainage changes to be reviewed by this office. 3, revise the as-built plans to show the subsurface discharge location for the revised drainage structures along East Howes Beach Road. 4, include the PWS ID number and DEQ ID number for the water and sewer systems this development is connected to. 5, provide a letter of acceptance and responsibility for the perpetual maintenance and operation of the water and sewer systems from the utility provider. 6, provide a water line call-out on all as-built water and sewer plan sheets, include the size of the installed water line in this call-out. Should the Planning Commission approve the request for final approval, a warranty obligation will be required for the infrastructure in the amount of 3,592 linear feet at $22 per linear foot for a total of $79,000 for a period of 2 years. The staff has no objection to the proposed final subdivision request, subject to the developer complying with all comments and no plats to be signed until all items are satisfactorily completed. No mandatory developmental fees are required since the public hearing was held prior to January 1st, 2005. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Shane?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Jeff Shane of the Jones Fussell Law Firm, P.O. Box 1810 in Covington. I represent the developer and owner, D.R. Horton, Inc., Gulf Coast. I've provided you with our responses to the 6 comments and certainly assume that you have read and heard staff say that they have no objection to final approval being granted. If any of you have any questions or comments concerning the items that staff has noted and our responses, I'll be glad to address them.
Thank you, Mr. Shane. Anyone in the audience wish to speak for or against on this project? Seeing no one, I will close it to the public and bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Seeger.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Seeger to approve. Commissioner Fitzmaurice. Second by Commissioner Fitzmaurice. Any further discussion? Please vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you. All right, the next item. Let me get back to the right. $1722 is gonna be the number. 2019-1722 FP, Beatico Creek, Parcel 6. Developer owner, Beatico Creek Preserves LLC. Engineers Kelly McEwen Associates. Parish Council District Representative, Honorable Marty Dean. General location of the property is located on the northwest side of Louisiana 1085, south of I-12, Madisonville, Ward 1, District 1. Staff?
Yes, sir. Periodic inspections have been made by this office during construction, and a final inspection was made on November 21st, 2019. This inspection disclosed that all the concrete roadways and shoulders are constructed and the roadside ditches need final grading. The following uncompleted items existed at the time of the final inspection and will be completed before the plats are signed. 1, all roadway joints need to be sealed to the top of pavement with joint sealant. 2, provide base test results. 3, provide concrete test results. 4, provide utility trench bedding test results. 5, provide utility trench backfill test results. 6, the western ditch along Audubon Parkway north of Beta Cove Drive needs to be regraded to provide positive flow to the existing outfall, and the as-built paving and drainage plan updated to reflect this work. 7, update the length of street section in the general information to reflect 108 feet. 8, update the road surface section in the general information to reflect concrete. 9, revise the water well site address to state 1086. 10, provide as-built ditch elevations near lots number 932 and 933 to ensure the ditch was constructed in accordance with the approved plans. 11, remove the new 4-inch PVC water line callout from the as-built water and sewer plan. Should the Planning Commission approve the request for final approval, a warranty obligation will be required for the infrastructure in the amount of 108 linear feet at $25 per linear foot for a total of $2,700 for a period of 2 years. The staff has no objection to the proposed final subdivision request, subject to the developer complying with all comments and no plats to be signed till all items are satisfactorily completed. And
Mr. Morone, let me do one thing. I think I read the number in wrong. I read it as 1722, and it should be 1721. Okay? Now, I will turn the mic over to you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members of the commission, Paul Maroon on behalf of Beatico Creek Preserve LLC with regards to parcel 6 of Beatico Creek, which is a relatively small portion of the development. I'd like to walk through the staff comments, but I can tell you at the outset that we have completed all of these items except for one, and that is the roadway joints need to be sealed to the top of the pavement with joint sealant. That is taking place this week and will be finished by the end of the week. All other matters are completed. On page 1, the roadside ditches have received their final grade. I have received the base test results and the concrete test results and are prepared to submit them if, in fact, the commission approves the request this evening. The trench bedding test results and the utility trench backfill test results. My contractor explained to me today that there were no road crossings for utilities in this phase and that all of the utilities were directionally bored. So there are no trench bedding test results or utility trench backfill test results. If after your staff's had an opportunity to review what we've submitted, if they disagree with that or there's an error there, we will certainly provide those, but we don't believe that those are applicable for this particular phase. The western ditch along Audubon Parkway has been regraded, and Mr. McHugh's office has updated the paving and drainage plan. Also, Mr. McHugh's office has completed all of the plat revisions, items 7 through 11, that appear on your checklist. So we would respectfully request your approval this evening of final for parcel 6 in Beatico Creek, subject to the staff comments, again with the only outstanding item being the filling of the joints on the streets with the sealant, which will be completed by the end of the week. I'll be happy to answer any questions that any of the commissioners might have regarding this request.
Thank you, Mr. Morone. Anyone in the audience wish to speak for or against on this? Seeing no one, I will close to the public and bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Baggert.
I move for approval, subject to staff comments being completed.
Motion by Mr. Baggert to approve for staff comments. Commissioner Randolph.
I second.
Second by Commissioner Randolph. Thank you, Paul. Most of these are what I would call minimal. It's paperwork type stuff. It's not, having to regrade drainage lines and sewer lines and all this kind of stuff. So we understand, we the commission understand that. Thank you. All right, we got a motion and a second to approve. Please vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you. All right, The amendment to developmental agreement, we've taken care of that. Old business, 2019-1494-PP, Bellevue Estates, developer owners H&I Investments, engineer is Kelly McHugh and Associates, Parish Council District Representative Honorable Jake Groby. General location, the property is located on the south side of Hoffman Road, east of Louisiana 59, Avita Springs, Ward 4, District 7. Staff?
Yes, sir. The owner of Bellevue Estates has changed the name of his LLC, and this is just to correct the paperwork and go through the process to update everything.
All right, thank you, Mr. Roan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I represent the principals of both H&I Investments LLC and Bellevue Estates 59 LLC. This is a housekeeping matter to have the correct name of the entity that actually acquired the property and is developing it, identified as the developer on the parish records.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else in the audience wish to speak on this item? I'll close it to the public, bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Crawford.
Motion for approval?
Moved by Commissioner Crawford to approve. Commissioner Seeger. Second by Commissioner Seeger. Any further discussion? Please vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Baggert to adjourn. Thank you.
I'm just collecting stuff now. Like every subject that comes